Hey folks, and all be all here, and we're back with the very final match of the 3v3 season. We've had an undefeated run so far, so it's pretty good. It's been pretty good, but we've got a tricky week this week. The first two opponents were really, really good, but we did manage to prevail over there, and now we just need to defeat the final opponent, whose name is Fup from the Guild Ghosts of the 501st. 900k lifetime banners, so we just need to defeat this final opponent before we claim an undefeated season. So he's already reached Kyber, 900k lifetime banners, pretty good opponent, and he's got the Executor, 6-star. So that's something which I need to figure out what to do because I've got my own Executor, which I'm planning to keep on defense. And the reason for that is, if you see an enemy with the Executor, you if you go against them, especially if you're at the same star level, because I've got 6-star as well, there's a high degree of uncertainty about turn order and all of that. Whether you play 7-star versus 7-star, 6-star versus 6-star, or lower star versus a higher star. There's always that bit of uncertainty about whether you'll be able to get the the executor down or not, and you don't want to take your executor and lose versus the enemy executor and then have them one shot your ship zone. So I would rather prefer to keep my executor on defense, give the same amount of headache and confusion to my opponent, and then try to if not one shot, at least double shot or multi shot the enemy executor to clear the zone, because they would do the same thing to me. So rather than keeping executor on defense, I always feel it's better to rather than keep it on offense. I feel it's always better to keep it on defense and just try to do a better job taking out the enemy executor than they can. So my current opponent, Fup, he's got he's got 4 GLs, just like me. He doesn't have Ray. I don't have I don't have C, and it tends to typically go efficiency. So he usually keeps 1 GL down on defense, and so I decided to lay a trap, which is I kept some AAA teams in the front over here, which typically tend to draw out a GL from him. And then I kept my Ray at the back over here with Vandor and L3. I felt, especially if he's running low on teams, this is something that you really can't whittle down. There's tons of damage mitigation on this team. And Ray is the main damage dealer over here. I've kept a couple of other good squads over here. I've kept my Newt squad, which always gets a hold with B1 and Django. There's Rex squad. There's Boba with Han and Chewie. This is something I've started keeping a lot on defense. I think it takes out a premium team that they use on offense. And then at the front on top, I've got my Treya, which always surprises opponents, even at G12. I've kept Nest with Maul and Dooku. I've kept my Finn Bros. And then I have crew, because I saw that my opponent usually tends to struggle against crew teams or tends to overkill it. And then I've kept GG as well. Crew is something I always almost keep on offense just because they're so good in taking out clones teams like Rex 5s and all that. But my opponent almost never keeps clones on defense, so I felt it's okay to keep that on offense. And like I mentioned, I've kept my executor on defense. Only 2 in reinforcements, so only the 5 bounty hunter ships as reinforcements. And then I decided to keep my malevolence and negotiator on offense because I needed to make sure that I clear the enemy executor, and even if I have to multi-shot, I needed to make sure that I have my best teams on there. And I kept my executrix on defense, Tarkin ship, just because if my opponent usually keeps a negotiator and executor on defense, and if he's going to save his malevolence on offense, malevolence is something which counters both of these ships, executor and executrix. So if he's not able to use his executrix against his malevolence against the Tarkin, then he's going to have problem clearing that particular ship as well. So that's the goal behind this zone. I just need to hope that I'm able to multi-shot to clear my opponent's executor. All right. Now, on defense, I see Darth Revan, a couple of other teams, not really that great. The Darth Revan is without Malak, so nothing too worrying up top. and nothing too worrying down south as well. There's just no GLs out here. So I can use B teams to take these out, save my best teams until I see what's at the back, but I don't anticipate to see more than one GL at the back. So against the Newt squad, I take in, there's no Django in there, so there's no rush to really, take a damage dealer out. So I just taken my boss team and try to get the contract as soon as possible. So there you go, the contract is done. Now I've got extortion everywhere, but I can go ahead and take care of Nest because she is the only relic character here. There's really not much relics on Droidica, so there's nothing much to worry about. So now that um, the main damage dealer is gone, I can start cleansing the extortion and then taking out Droidica. I think he's going to be the main problem over here. And as you can see over here, extortion really spreads quite a lot. Even though I'm trying to dispel it as soon as I can, it does spread a lot. So I'm trying to just get rid of Newt as soon as I can. There you go. One now my Boba has exhausted his bounty hunter's resolve, my Mando. So I need to just take care of Newt as soon as I can, and then annihilate Droidica as soon as I can. So there you go. Now a little bit of heal, and with this I should be able to take care of Newt and end with 53 banners. It's always tricky, that Newt team. It's surprising how fast extortion spreads even in 3v3. All right. Now we go against Dooku and Talzin. So it's interesting to see Talzin under Dooku. It's an interesting squad because the moment Talzin does a plague, everyone falls below 100% health. And with Dooku's leadership, that means they're all inflicted with healing immunity and with the plague. And you can see over here, even though Mon Mothma's basic ability heals, um, plague, which is why they're so great against sisters, they're not able to do it right now because of healing immunity. So uh, the debuffs are lasting longer than expected in the Mon Mothma team. So I just have to wait for the healing immunity to drop off before my Mon Mothma team really starts healing up. And you can see over here, Biggs is almost taken out. It's an R6 Dooku, so he does a really good job of getting through my bigs. And now I need to just wait for the revive to come around. And I can't afford to let my Cara Dune die because if she dies, then this team is gone, and I'll have to double shot it. But I'm still one away from my heal or revive ability, and you can see over here Kara is almost taken out. So I need to do, there we go. Now we get the revive, and now we are in a much better situation. We end with 52 banners, where it could have been a loss as well. So a little dicey, and my opponent almost got the victory over there. Now against the Django team, this one prevents revives, so I couldn't take sisters or anything else. I needed something which should get in front of them and get in control. And I've got a fast Gideon, so I thought that's probably the best thing to do. And with Vader in there, he still hits pretty hard on his culling blade, at least against weaker characters like Boba and Django. Even though they're relict, you can do you can at least take them out in one shot in culling blade. So I'm just trying to get through them and take them out before they take any turns because they are really, really they're heavily relic R7 and R8, and they do tons of damage. So you don't want to really give them a chance to go. And with Vader and Thrawn and Gideon, you get plenty of control, so that's not a problem. Now, this one is an interesting team. Watt, Stormtrooper Han, and Wampa I use quite a lot. The problem is now with Watt being nerfed, his weapon stack does not ignore defense anymore. But so this was a little risky to take this thing, but I wanted to see to what extent Wampa can ramp up in 5 minutes. Because he does have a Zeta, and he does have a really good ability to ramp up. So if I felt if he does a few roars, he might be able to chew through Bosk pretty effectively. This is an R5 boss, so it's extremely tanky, and they recover tons of protection as well. There's tons of debuffs on this team that this team applies, so that means that they recover tons of protection due to Bosk's leadership. So I would have to see how they would really be able to, whether Vampire will really be able to ramp up enough damage to chew through this team. The good thing about this team is there's really not any AoEs apart from Dengar's thermal bombs that he throws. The rest of these guys really don't have AoE, so I really wasn't very worried about them chewing through Stormtrooper Han's taunt and dealing enough damage to Watt or to Wampa, because these guys have got tons of protection recovery on all three of them, so there's really not much of an issue. The main question is whether I'm able to get enough damage done to chew through these guys. And you can see I'm almost 2 minutes in, and there's basically nothing much done on Bosk at all. But I needed to make sure that I have I see that without the weapon stick or without defense ignore, how much of damage Wampa is able to ramp up. Because in case I need to use this team in the future, I need to know what Wampa is capable of. It is an R7 Wampa, so the damage is slightly more than most other Wampas, but just wanted to make sure in any case. So both the teams are not able to chew through, so they are lacking damage, and my team is ramping up damage, but still not able to make much headway over here. So I was getting a little nervous by then, but I am getting more and more damage done with each hit. So I'm hoping that one big AOE is able to take out maybe one of the side characters, and then they will heal much less. So you can see over here more and more their protection is getting lost, and I'm chewing through them one by one. There's still 2 minutes left. Still not gotten through all the protection of Bosk. Once I get through protection and he falls below 100% health like this, his defense also drops. I think he gets an extra 50% defense bonus if he's at full health. So as long as these guys are at full health, I'll be doing less damage to them. So my goal is to make sure that I drop them below 100% health as soon as possible, and then follow it up with a big hit. So I'm doing increasingly more and more damage. Just under 2 minutes left though, so a little bit of a not that worried about it. And you can see over here, got Bosk into the yellow. So one more roar, and I think I should be able to get enough damage done with these guys. Bosk is almost out. He was in red just now, and there we go. One big AoE takes out both Bosk and Grief, and now it's a pretty easy job to clean up, just a single character. So yeah, with about a minute left, I was able to get enough offense built up on my Wampa to chew through this tanky team. And if I can do it with this team, then I can definitely, take out other tougher teams as well. So I think, Watt with Wampa is still a good combination, even without the defense ignore, if you have enough time to chew through them. Now, at the back, no GLs, which wasn't what I was expecting, but he does have gas in there, which is the toughest team on the board. So I decided to go in and take in my Jedi Master Kenobi with Cat. This is the easiest way to take care of gas. You just annihilate or force sleep on gas right away, take care of him, and then it's just a question of taking out the other characters as soon as possible and ending with 54. I probably didn't even need Ahsoka in there, but just helps to have that extra assist and extra protection recovery. So there you go, and it's gone. Yeah. So 54 banners over there. Pretty easy victory. Last time actually I lost with my JMK against Gas, but that's because I didn't have any damage dealers. So I didn't want to make that mistake. Over here, I've got troopers against Darth Revan. I didn't really need to do this. I had a couple of GLs I could have used, but I wanted to practice in any case against this. So I got rid of Basti first, and then got rid of HK. Now I needed to Yeah, I couldn't exactly take Darth Revan out, which is why my Veers died and I only got 49. But it's only a G12 Veers. If it was a G13 Veers, and Darth Revan would have probably died. But it's fine. I needed to know the limits of my team, which is why I like to sometimes take practice in Grand Arena like that. Now, this is something that I've used quite a lot. Against crew teams, I love to take in my BAM team with IG and Quill. There's just tons of control that this team has, tons of damage, shock, stun, and protection and protection recovery as well. Plus foresight, which is great against crew and Kylo Ren. Um, the other thing I love about this team is they really can't be stunned. Um, because IG-11 basically dispels stun on all the characters whenever he takes a turn. So Crew's two-turn stun really doesn't do anything to control this particular team. And damaged immunity doesn't hurt as well. So there you go. I've got I've got a little bit. I've got about 13 stacks that should take care of Red Trooper, and once Red Trooper is gone, then the others should be pretty easy to take down. There you go, Foresight helping out quite a lot. And the healing ability, the damage immunity that BAM applies is pretty amazing. So all you need to do is first take out Red Trooper or Fox or whoever the damage dealer is, and then try to shock Kylo Ren and control him, and at the same time heal up as much as you can. And then when you get a chance, take out OG Kylo as soon as you can, and then focus down on crew later. That's the order in which I do these things. So again, Foresight, amazing versus Kylo Ren. He takes tons of turns, but this I've got plenty of ways to recover protection, so it's really not much of an issue. And true damage does really an amazing amount of damage against these guys, and they tend to heal a lot. But with shock in there and with all those damage that you do, you can end up with pretty decent banners against them. So rather than keeping Bam on defense, I always prefer to keep him on offense and take out a tough team like this, which typically tends to strip banners. So pretty good situation so far. I'm at full banners over here, and with this Whistling Birds, I should be able to get full banners, 54. So pretty good team. I've been using it a lot in the last few seasons of 3v3, and I'm pretty impressed with that. The next toughest team I think was Padme, so I just decided to take in my crew against that, or my SLKR against that. Um, and yeah, this is really not much of an issue. Even in 5v5, SLKR does a fine job of soloing Padme team, so not much of an issue over there. Just take care of Annie first, and then Padme. Okay, so 55 banners there. Let's see what's the next squad that I take out. Yeah, the Huck squad. Now this is an assist-based squad, so against these guys, Padme is always a good option. And I've got since I put my GK on defense with the Jedi Knight Luke, I used Wrecker in there. Wrecker is a great as a third as a tank in here with a Padme squad, just because I like to use the other three Bad Batch characters on offense, which is Hunter, Tech, and Echo. So Wrecker is out in the open, and if you need a tank for your Padme team, because Ahsoka is going to go with with the Jedi Master Kenobi, and GK if he goes with other Jedi, then you can use Wrecker in there. The one advantage of Wrecker in this team is unlike Kenobi, who can't really recover protection, Wrecker actually does have an ability to recover protection on himself. So rather than ending with 51 with a Padme team, which usually people tend to do, um, you can end with about 52 banners over here. So an extra recovery. All right, now against the JKRs against the GG squad, I taken my JKR. This is a very common counter. I've been using other counters for Grievous in this season of 3v3. I've used I've used Bad Batch quite a lot. I've used Padme just because I love to keep JKR on defense. Much more than Bad Batch and Padme and a few other squads. JKR actually, does a really good job on defense. So, I felt it was a good trade-off to have JKR on defense to trip up my opponent and to get them to overkill with some team, and then use Padme or Bad Batch to take out Grievous. But this particular case, I decided to. Sometimes it's good to have JKR on offense just to give that extra flexibility, especially if you feel you anticipate you're going to face GLs, because JKR with his mark ability is it's a really versatile character and really good to keep on offense at times if you want to get around the taunt and target specific characters. So in this particular case, I keep him on offense, but usually I've been keeping a lot on defense, and he's been proving quite successful for me. Now against the Mon Mothma team, I taken Basticam. Basticam is again an amazing option on offense. He just does so much damage. There you go, 144k, and within 20 seconds, the enemy team was taken out before they even got a chance to go. I didn't even need Old Ben in there. Now, Bad Batch. This is another squad which is relatively weaker on defense, but I love to keep them on offense just because of the flexibility that they provide. Um, I decided to take them against Night Sisters. There's they do have that. Usually against Night Sisters, I like to take in squads which prevent revive, like Django or Boba or Bam with Whistling Birds. But in this particular case, it's a little irritating trying to having to get through those two deaths of zombie. And then killing the rest of the characters, and then with Daka reviving characters as well. But it's fine. Bad Batch team has got tons of control on offense, so I should be able to stun the team, daze them, apply healing immunity, and control the battle pretty easily. So 4 minutes in, I think we have exhausted both our deaths, or 1 minute in, but I'll have to see. I think this particular battle takes a little bit of time, but there's tons of there's tons of control that this team has. One thing which is irritating is that Asajj does have the ability to dispel all debuffs, all buffs on my team, and this team relies so much on buffs. So that's why that can get a little bit irritating. That's why I think the counter to this team also is, other teams which can dispel debuffs or dispel buffs. That actually makes this team a little weaker. I actually tried taking in the Bad Batch team once against Grievous, and I lost because B2 kept dispelling all the debuffs and applying buff immunity. So, so that's one thing that you have to be careful of is Asajj's dispel ability. Um, but it's really not much of a problem because this team is able to control the battle quite effectively. Now, Daka did revive Asajj in there, so I need to kill Daka to prevent any more revives. So there we go. I think with this, I stun Daka and almost kill her. Dispel everything, and then now I need to go after Daka and finish her. There we go. There. So now Daka is down, and then it's a pretty easy job cleaning up Asajj and Zombie. Zombie will taunt a lot. Zombie under Asajj goes insanely fast, not just because of the two stacks, but also because of the turn meter that Zombie gets every time she falls below 100% health. Um, so that's why the daze and the healing immunity actually is pretty effective against Zombie. Now only a little bit of health left on Asajj, and I need to make sure that I maximize my banners over here. And I'm almost at full health and full protection, so it shouldn't take much time to get through this. And with this, I think we should be able to get it done. Yep, there we apply a stun. We are at full health and full protection. And there we go with a double hit from Hunter on basic, and we end at 54 banners. So doing okay on banners so far. JTR I still have left. Usually I save this team for CLS, or in the absence of CLS, you can always use it against one of the B teams like these, or bounty hunter squads as well. Those do pretty well. In my last video, I also showcased JTR against used to clean up a JML, a lone JML who's standing. So she's pretty effective in that regard as well, which is why I think at least in 3v3s, I would always keep JTR on offense and not on defense. In 5v5, I prefer keeping JTR on defense, but in 3v3, there's just so much of versatility that she brings to the table. Tons of control that these three have by themselves. I almost never split them up. There's just these ones are, just like Treya, Nihilus, and Scion. These three have got tons of synergy by themselves, and love to use them together. So in this particular case, I think I end with 52. Yep, a little bit of protection missing on both BB-8 and JTR, but that should be fine. And now I think there's only the Geo squad left with B1 in there who provides tons of healing. So this can get to be an irritating team, especially if you're not able to get through taunt. Usually when I see B1, I like to think of taking in Geos to be able to target B1 directly and reduce his stacks, or Mon Mothma. In this particular case, if I had Cassian geared up, Mon Mothma would have worked because I would have applied buff immunity on Brood and then gone after B1. But I don't. My Cassian is only G10 or something like that. So I decided to, since I had my GL left, I decided to take that in and get through these guys one by one. Ayla is great in there in any assist-based team, and she's great to control the battle just by calling her to assist and stunning characters. So pretty easy to take care of the rest of the characters with my GL, and now I'm just trying to make sure I end with full health and full protection. So I'm um, calling Hermit Yoda when I can. There's a little bit of protection missing on Ayla, but I think now I call Hermit Yoda and manage to top her up. So 54 banners over there. Now only ships are left, and for ships, my opponent has kept, as expected, because he did let his defense roll over. He's kept his 6-star Executor, and then he's kept his Negotiator, the two toughest fleets in anyone's roster. So I've kept my own Executor on defense, so I need to use other ships to try to take these two ships out, and both these ships are really good. This is like the toughest defense that you can face in ships. So let's go ahead and see the strategy that I use for the Executor. Now I don't have the Executor of my own, so my plan is to double shot my opponent. Now over here, there's at this particular point in time, I finished my battles character zone and I waited on the ship zone because I needed to know how much I can afford to drop on ships before I clear the board. So I waited till the last 15 minutes because that's all I need to clear the ships. And my opponent had gone and cleared 2 zones, but he hadn't touched the ship zone, and he did not take out 3 characters in the back of the character zone. So I knew that he probably wouldn't be able to attempt, because 15 minutes is not enough to clear 2 ships as well as 3 character zones, especially one of those ships is an Executor. So I knew that he's not going to clear me, so I can afford to multi-shot these ships in order to win the battle. So this is what I decided to do, and this is something that I've been wanting to test, is using a burner fleet to reduce the cooldowns on the Executor, and then go in with my main fleet to take out the Executor, which is going to be the Malevolence. And for a burner fleet, the best fleet to take is going to be the Mace fleet. So I decided to take in the Mace fleet with 3 of my weakest ships, the Sith Fighter, the Jedi Counselor ship, and I think I took which other one? Yeah, the Coast. I almost never use the Coast in my battles. So these 3 ships I took in and decided to burn the main cooldowns, which is and you'll see which one's over here. Um, and then go in with my main ship. I think that is a way easier way to deal with Malevolence rather than wasting a good ship right at the beginning. So you see the mass assist ability of Malevolence was used. Boba's the Razor Crest assist ability was used. Same thing with Xanadu Blood, his assist also was used. And then now we just have one more thing to do, which is going to be the taunt from Houndstooth. That is also used up. So great. All the main abilities were used up. Now we can go in with our main fleet and then take care of the executor. There's the next ability that the other advantage is that the next ability that the executor is going to use is going to be the heal ability to land a heal on someone. And since all the ships are anyway at full health and full protection, that heal ability is basically going to be wasted. It's probably going to land the taunt on Houndstooth, give him foresight, tenacity up, and all that good stuff, and heal him up. But that's perfectly fine because his assist ability is on cooldown and his heal ability also will be on cooldown after the first ability, and then he'll only be using calling reinforcements as well as using his basic. So Executor has been neutered. Houndstooth, he won't be able to use his taunt for a little bit, so he's been neutered as well. And then both the specials from Razor Crest and Xanadu Blood has been used up as well. So Malevolence should have a much better job of surviving in this particular scenario. So that's what we do over here. This is one way to really guarantee a two-shot because there's really no way to guarantee a one-shot against an executor if you don't have an executor of your own. So this is probably one of the safest ways to do it because RNG can go either way. It depends on which ship your executor decides to target. You can one-shot it with other fleets, but you also can miss. And I didn't want to take that risk. I wanted to test this out to see how it would happen over here. And this is something which is very difficult to test in the arena. It's actually impossible to test in the arena. You can't, go in with a burner fleet and all that. This is something you can only test in GAC. All right, so you see over here, Houndstooth has the Executor has done the healing ability on Houndstooth and given him foresight, healed him up completely, given him tenacity up. So we need to save our stun for now and get rid of the foresight and try to land. I save my debuffs over here as well, and now I try to land buzz droids on all the enemies. All right, so that is unresistible, so it doesn't matter if they've got tenacity up. Now I land the stun over here because I want to make sure that there was no foresight over there. Unfortunately, landed a stun on my hyena bomber, but I'm trying to see if I can take out Houndstooth. That's going to be extremely important. So I land buzz droids over here. Now this is an important thing. I call in Ebon Hawk, and this is something that Van Seal covered in a video. Ebon Hawk is really great as a first reinforcement over here. Just because you can apply buff immunity, especially if the enemy Houndstooth is stunned and has got buzz droids on him, and at least one of your ships has got breach, because you need to make sure that the taunt remains on Houndstooth. Because if the taunt remains on Houndstooth, then his tenacity is left. If he doesn't have taunt, then his tenacity is more, and you may not be able to land buff immunity. So I've got a breach on actually a couple of my characters. So when Ebenhawk comes in, he's not going to dispel the taunt, and Houndstooth is going to have less tenacity. Now I need to use my buff immunity ability on Houndstooth and get that in there so that he doesn't regain bonus protection. And then he's got Buzz Droid, so his defense is going to be less as well. Now I should be able to power down on Houndstooth, because it's important to, if you want to one-shot it, you have to take down Houndstooth first. That's extremely important. And now you can see over here, I was able to take him down because of the buff immunity and the buzz droids, and now I can focus down on the other ships relatively easier. You still end up losing quite a few ships, but without Houndstooth in there, this ship is pretty easy for a Malevolence fleet to take out. So take out IG-88 just because he tends to heal up himself and the enemy and his allied ships as well. And you can see these guys are doing a number on my hyena bomber, but I get in my spy over here to try to take down the IG-88 as soon as I can. Mass assist on IG-88, he's down. Now I just need to take down the Cad Bane ship since he's got the taunt on him. They're targeting my Ebenhawk and trying to take it down, but I am able to take down Cad Bane, and now it's just a question of they get Boba in. So Hyena Bomber is gone, unfortunately, but I need to somehow survive. There's just my I think my spy in there who's surviving. That's the only ship in there that I have. Everyone else is a summoned vulture droid. So I need to make sure that that ship still remains in stealth. And and yes, now I get my ultimate. And once you get the ultimate, it's game over because the enemy team is stunned, and they won't be able to come to get a turn at least for a couple of turns. And you can then focus down on the on your enemy ships and take them down. So very, very low banners, only 35, but I was able to guarantee clearing the executor without my own executor. So I think this is something that I'll be doing in the future quite a lot. I don't mind a double shot because I have my own executor on defense, and I'm not wasting any ships at all. I'm just wasting mace and three bad ships, and at the same time I'm taking the malevolence to beat the executor. This way I can keep my own negotiator on defense if I need, if I feel I can take out the enemy ship with my rebels or empire fleet or something like that, and I can guarantee that with the malevolence and with mace burner fleet I should be able to take out the executor. So that's going to be my goal. Now the other battle, I'm not going to show the other battle, but it was pretty straightforward. I mean, I lost against a mirror match with my negotiator against the enemy negotiator, so I had to clean it up with rebels. But rebels do a pretty decent job of cleaning up negotiator, especially if the cooldowns have been reduced as well. So that's what I do over here. I go ahead and take care of um, the enemy negotiator, and with this heal up a little bit over here, and then I think I call an assist and finish it. No, there's still more characters coming in. Yeah, so negotiator is something which I think you can work down with. Even if you need to multi-shot it, you can do it as long as you've got rebels and first order and a couple of other ships which can do a decent job of getting it down. So there we go. We have the negotiator cleared as well. It took a couple of battles on this one as well. So two battles here, two battles on the executor, but at least the ship zone is clear. And we end with a total of 3104 banners. So as noticed over here, my opponent was not able to clear the character zone, left three character zones at the back, and then he he did not touch my ships at all, both my executrix as well as my executor. So the final score was 3108, 3104 to 2380. Um, so pretty decent outcome, and I was happy that I managed to get some testing with the executor done because that's going to be important even in the next upcoming season of 5v5. Rather than playing a game of executor chicken, I want to make sure that I always keep my executor on defense and guarantee at least a two shot of an executor if I see it on defense. All right, so that's it for this character zone in this battle, and I managed to make sure that I end with an undefeated season. I think I'm close to the top 100. If I finish one more feat, I'll probably get top 100. But I really wasn't bothered about feats this season, and I haven't cleared quite a few times. I did not clear my opponents. I was focused more on the win. But a couple of milestones to celebrate. One is, obviously second undefeated season, which is great. And secondly, I haven't really talked about this much on my video, but there's a content creators um, GAC tournament which typically takes place. It's organized by the Escape Podcast, and it's got all the content creators in there. And we basically, over a period of 3 seasons, we compete to see who's got the best record in there. And you can see over here, most of the good content creators are on there competing over here. You've got Arnold Warrior, good old Maurice, Sarat, Solo Base, Tylar, Indigo, quite a few of them. So this is Division One, and good old Maurice is going to end up taking the mantle for number one in Division One. So the season over here um, ends in a couple of months. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, the season ends in a couple of days, where we have the final season for this particular tournament ending now. So good old Maurice is going to be the number one in Division 1, and in Division 2, uh, we've got Bitcoin over here, who's currently leading, but he just had a loss in the last match. So this is as of last week, this record. So with that, I just found out that I'll be number one in Division Two. So we have Gambit, which is going to be, the Gambit team is going to be topping both Division One and Two, and I believe Calvin Awesome is going to top Division Four as well. So pretty good to see those results with Gambit dominating throughout all divisions of this GA Center tournament. Pretty happy to see that. Great, really great game. Really good three seasons from Bitcoin, Grin, Tisk, That's No Moon. All of these guys gave really stiff competition, and it was really interesting to get through this whole thing. And I really wasn't expecting to win this season, just because of the gameplay that Grid and Tisk and Bitcoin had. But glad to have this outcome in any case. All right, so that's the end of this season of 3v3. We're going to have another season of 5v5 coming up in a week's time. Got to think of new things to do. Got to think of how things are going to be changing now that the GL nerfs have, or the GLs have been buffed up, and a couple of other characters have been nerfed. So it's going to be interesting talking about that. We'll talk more during the Gambit roundtable, as well as during my offensive and defensive videos with Zadit. So keep a watch out for those. Looking forward to sharing my thoughts over there as well. All right, that's it for this week and this season. I will catch you guys later. Take care and happy gaming.